to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. One of the biggest questions that is haunting the Kenya Kwanza team is the question of honesty and trust. The trust level between the citizens and the executive, the president, the government. Because trust is something that is earned, and you have to know someone for a while to determine that they are either honest or dishonest, to decide whether you want to trust them or develop a mistrust. Kenyans have engaged with the president for such a long time, and they have concluded that our president is a very dishonest person. This did not start today. It started during the campaigns. In fact, even before the campaigns, for the period that the president was the then deputy president, there were a lot of engagements that indicated that he was never a honest man. And in fact, people were warned that we have got leaders that will never tell us the truth, and we are warned against trusting them.
A lot of people lie all the time. You know, some of them now lie like a career. You know, it's like that's what they went to school to be trained. You saw those lies yesterday. You know, people lying. They lie about anything. They can't tell you anything. Probably the only truth about them is their name.
I want us to take, for example, this occasion when the president was campaigning against Raila Odinga and the team, and he called them antichrists, people who had to seek for the kingdom of God first. And he quoted this Bible verse.
Meambiwa na waganga na wachawi ati mtu fulani atakuwa kwa debe na mtu fulani hatakuwa kwa debe. Ujue mahali Kenya imefika. Lakini hata na wao tunaomba muwaombe wajue ya kwamba Mathayo 6:35 watafute kwanza ufalme wa Mungu.
The Bible verse that he quoted was wrong, because Matthew 6:35 says, "Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will what you will eat, or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing?" So he missed it, and he quoted that Bible without blinking, and he was quoting it there without. Now, the seek ye the kingdom of God first that he was saying is actually found in Matthew 6:33, and exactly Matthew 6:33 says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." So when it comes to, quoting all this, when someone lies to an extent of forgetting and lying about wrong Bible versions, then there's a problem. This was not the only occasion. This was just an example. And then recently there was a moment when people were waiting with bated breath to hear what the president had in store for them when he was about to address the joint parliaments, the National Assembly and the Senate. And as people were waiting, the president decided to choreograph some phone calls where he was calling some people he termed as hustlers. And then there was this moment when this hustler had borrowed the hustlers fund to a tune of some hundreds of thousands, I don't know, million. And people were wondering, he needed a tuk-tuk, yet the money that he had borrowed was enough to buy a tuk-tuk, and people said, no, this is wrong. And then recently, the president had the guts of comparing our slums to one of the best cities, London.
I want to ask you to go to Mukuru. We are building 14,000 houses in Mukuru. If you go today to Mukuru, you will not think it is a slum. So you will think it is in Europe.
And even dared, if you want to know that our president is so daring, he even dared the media personalities who are there to go check for themselves. And when they went there, it was pathetic And then it behoves one to ask, why would a president lie and even dare people to go there? As people were delving on this discussion, I realized we really concentrated on the part of the lies alone. But then there is something much bigger than the lying itself. And I will tell you, for example, when you are waiting as a nation to hear what the president wants to tell you, and he comes up with the trivial issues, it tells you one thing. He does not understand the burden on his shoulder. He does not understand the magnitude of the office that he holds. Because as a president, when if you go to the Western countries and they have an appointment with the media, they have an appointment with the people of Kenya. For example, if Joe Biden today would have an appointment with CNN and all VOK and all those media stations, it is a moment of reckoning. And he will do a lot of research and he will try to be very honest with the people. But our president, on a moment when he wants to address the two, parliaments, he starts playing around. Those were jokes. And then he has a moment of an appointment with the media and he dares them to go to the slums and see how the slums resemble London. It tells you that he does not take seriously his office, because a king cannot keep on lying to his subjects and he continues to be in that office. So the magnitude of his office is something that he is lacking. Our president takes us for granted, because when you see someone lying to you blatantly without blinking and he does it all the time, two things must be happening. Either the president feels that we are too imbecile, that we cannot discern the truth from fallacies. And it is very bad for a president who is leading people he feels are fools. He himself once said that we have a shortage of fools in the country. That is number one. He feels that people cannot discern his fallacies from the truth. Number two, he believes that even if he lies to us, there is nothing we will do. We will take him nowhere. That is why he can quote all the wrong Bible versions. He can dare us to go to the slums. And he knows, like I don't think the president ever thought that the NTV crew would go and find out what is happening in the Mkuru slums, because it was found to be very pathetic. And this takes me to another point, that our president, in his statements, were a slap in the face to the hustlers and an insult. And I'm saying it is an insult to the nation and the hustlers, because when you talk about Mukuru kwa Njenga, you are also talking about Mukuru kwa Ruben, Mkuru Kayaba, you are talking about Kibra, you are talking about Madari, you are talking about Vitongoji Duni. And I'm not saying that those people who live there are lesser people. No. We have people who live there and live maybe a better life. But then, when people live in squalid places, when the sewers line is coming, is passing by the door, the rate of insecurity is really rampant there. Food is hard to come by. Then you tell them that where they live is synonymous with one of the best cities. It is an insult. For example, how did you feel, for example, when you live in such slums and the president says that those places now resembles London? You feel low. And if you elected the president, you don't imagine that this is the president that is talking. And the last one, it only shows and corroborates the fact that our president cannot be trusted, because you can't keep on lying all the times. And in this, we have not even covered the promises that he gave to people. I will bring down the cost of living. I will give our women diapers for the first 3 months when they have babies, signing charters everywhere. But as Matiangi said, some of these people has made lies a career. Do we blame anyone? We are the co-authors of our own misfortunes and predicaments, because when we are given a chance to elect honest leaders, we go for dishonest leaders, and then we expect them to behave like saints.